We are going to demonstrate for you the baseline testing, which is in the introduction part of your book. The purpose of doing the baseline testing is to learn a little bit about your balance status now before you learn all of the exercises and the information and practice the things in the book. Before you even start the baseline testing, take a few minutes to look at the page before the baseline testing that talks about safety considerations. Some of the main things I want to highlight from the safety considerations is have a buddy with you when you're doing this, someone to spot you and make sure you stay safe. Start at a spot where you can put your hands on. That's why we're at the kitchen sink in case you need to use your hands, and wearing no skid shoes or no shoes at all. So in other words, don't have something slippery on your feet. So with all that being said, make sure you take a look at those safety considerations, and we're going to get started in demonstrating the baseline testing. So the first phase of the baseline testing is going to be on a firm surface. And what we're going to do first is stand facing the window, square to the window. You can put two hands on the countertop just to get started. Now, I want you to put your feet close together, touching. Okay. Toes touching, heels touching. Okay. All right. Now you're just going to stand tall in your best posture. Now you're going to let go of the sink and put your arms at your side. And you're just going to pick something to look at out the window. And we're going to count for 30 seconds. And our goal is to meet our 30-second mark. And once we've gotten to our 30 seconds, that's an indication that you've mastered this particular task. So you look pretty sturdy in that position. Do you feel sturdy?
Yes.
Okay, so now I'm going to have you put your feet up. Well, no, I'm going to have you from that position, stay right like you are, and I'm going to have you close your eyes. And I've kind of got my hands in front and behind you just to make sure that we're safe. And I can see you're swaying just a little bit, and that's normal. And I'm going to count for a 30-second count and make sure that you can hold that position with the eyes closed for a 30 seconds. Okay, so we're going to pretend that's 30 seconds. Go ahead and open your eyes. Okay, how'd that feel? Okay. It feels different though, right?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so once you've done, those are the first two tasks. It's narrow stance, feet together, eyes open and eyes closed. And what you're going to do is you're going to go to the page in the book that is the baseline testing tracker, and you're going to write down the seconds that you got on those two tasks. And the biggest thing about this process is that in order to go to the next task, you need to at least get 10 seconds on the task that you're working on. So in other words, if you don't get to 10 seconds with one of these tasks, you're not to go to the next task, because the next task gets harder. And if you can't do 10 seconds in this phase, then the next phase is harder and it might not be safe for you to do. So that's the most important and probably the most confusing thing. So this is narrow stance with the eyes open and the eyes closed.